So halfway through kind of being a teacher,
That's where I got career, which is where I got creative.
Ooh. Just it happens, just go through that. But no, so I started doing streams. I was doing live streaming for games and stuff. So I'd bought microphones, cameras, lights, and I was like, cool, I could do this not live and make it even better,
right,
kind of thing.
And we always into photography, cameras, stuff like that.
It's always been kind of a part of our family in that someone in the family has had a nice camera. So my uncle did photography for like the Daily Mail back in like the 60s and 70s and stuff. My nan used to have the old foldy out concertina camera kind of things. My dad, techie man, but loves cameras. Yeah. So it was always kind of there. And my mum has buying issues, just buys a million cameras all the time. So I'm like, cool, so there's a new one. Let's try this one out. Oh, you got another one? Let's just go for that one. Cool, nice. This one's bigger. How does that work? So it's always just like trying to teach myself how to use what they had.
Okay.
Just thought, why not? It's a thing. I like to learn things. I like hobbies. They're fun. And then with the live streaming, I thought, let's do more. Let's make a mini production out of this. So the live stream would be its own production. I'd then have an...
And first and foremost, what were you live streaming?
World of Warcraft.
Oh,
yeah.
Which is what?
The full MMO RPG PC game.
Right, that's all you had to say.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
And I'd be streaming that, just me playing it.
I was kidding. What? An MMO RPG, PCD, RVV, LBD.
XKY. Online role-playing game, in short. And the MMO is a massively multiplayer online.
Okay.
So I think it's something like 1.5 million players at any given time, kind of online. You're teaming up with people.
Right. And actually, I know World of Warcraft. I know two people who met from completely different countries on World of Warcraft and are now married and have moved to one of those countries as well. And literally, like, we're hanging out with each other's avatars for like 2 years dating before they got together. Okay, dokie. So you were streaming, you playing that just as like an outlet, something you were doing anyway, but you were streaming it too.
Yeah. So I'd been playing since 2005 when the game first came out, and then thought, might as well go live. Like, there's money here. There's monetization is a possibility when you're streaming on platforms such as Twitch.
Right.
And I thought, why not? Let's do it. And then it snowballed. It was me sitting on my laptop and originally in my living room streaming to being like, can I take over this room? Put a big desk in the corner.
I think I need more space.
I need another computer. I need just 2 more lights. Just 2 more.
Just
2 more.
And a ring light.
And a ring light.
Yeah.
And then some backlights. This would be a great stream if I had a second cam from the ceiling.
But I need it.
Really need it. It's blurred, but it looks cool.
Yeah. I might use it occasionally.
So it was I was building that out more and more and more, getting more gear, and then thought a lot of people who stream also make tutorials.
Right.
So they kind of teach people how to play what they're playing on long form platforms such as YouTube. And that's where it kind of really started to snowball. And I was like, cool, cameras here, lights here. I've got a background for this section of the video. Let's teach people how to play this game. Oh, looks like I need a new mic. I need a shotgun mic. I need something that's going to make me sound better.
Right.
Can I buy a lapel? Can I buy X, Y, Z? All this gear just started to accumulate.
Right.
And
obviously you're having to teach yourself how to use all this stuff every time you're getting it. I adore buying all this camera stuff and production bits and pieces, but I even like it more the fact that everyone sits down and like, ooh, and you know what else it does? And, oh God, it extends.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right. So as you've taught yourself to use it, you then decided to then doing sort of tutorials to show people like, this is a shotgun mic. This is where I put it. Yeah. This is how loud I put it. This is why I do it. And then versus a lapel mic, for instance.
Yeah, definitely. And then each time as I'm doing those videos being like, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Let's fix it. Nice, fixed. Here's another video on the new updated version on how to fix that issue that you've got, kind of thing.
This again, these are not things that people who are not confident do, Mr. John. Like literally, because the way that you're able to put yourself across onto film. Now, I know that you use edit as a safety blanket, right? You know that you can just speak into it and make sure that you, only say the right things. However, if you ever watch any of John's videos, he keeps in mostly the mess ups, right? It's the charm of the videos is of you being like, God, I'm cringing at myself here. Ha 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 ha. I'll make that big, zoom in on that, right? So again, that's not necessarily like as someone just self-professed who doesn't, believe they're that confident. Maybe the show is just about telling John how confident he is. But these are things which are not doing it. I know very confident people who fall to pieces on camera, right? Since trying to trying to explain something like you were that they like do all the time, like understand, know, are passionate about, and then they'll be like, today we're going to talk about. Whereas you're and like very excited, it's very engaging content the way that you put it across. So how did you get there, right? How did you go from zero to hero of presenting on video? Because I know it's something a lot of people struggle with, of like how to put themselves across. And really helpful to hear someone who says they're not confident but produces such confident content.
Yeah, I think it came from a position of my initial first content was awful.
Right.
It was terrible. And the biggest thing that I ever taught myself when it came to anything in the creative field was that concept of done is better than perfect. So that meant I had to put something out.
Right.
I put that pressure on myself to be like, okay, this week I'm going to release a video. Some of them I recorded 10 times.
Right.
One of them I actually say, I recorded this 10 times. I'm not doing it again. This is the final one.
Just for future John.
Literally future me. But by doing that, it meant I actually had something to reflect on.
Right.
If I hadn't have made it, if I'd been such a perfectionist to be like, this is not good enough to go out, I need to record it again, I wouldn't have been able to sit back. Once it's uploaded, I kind of put on myself this disconnect from it. It's on there. I can't change it. Yeah, you can delete it. But in my head, I was saying to myself, I cannot delete this content now.
Right. That's done. That's happened.
It's happened, yeah. Let's watch it. What can be better?
Next
and that
time.
Repetition.
Exactly. And actually maybe give yourself some passion about why to go back into this and try it again. Okay. I sat there like that the whole time. Maybe I should have one hand. Okay. No, that looks crazy. Okay. Oh, hello. Now we're talking. I've got two hands out. That's for you, Rich. I found exactly the same thing with the Daily Show. Like I'd never done any of this sort of video stuff before we started here. Like I'd done some Zoom calls, but I'm old. So really it was phone calls and meetings, right? That was, of all of my career of like having meetings with people I didn't know and like being out my comfort zone, I'd be sat in a room and I like hanging out with people. So it's not so bad, but like talking to a cold, hard lens, different thing, especially to like look at it like you like it, because sometimes you're just like, it's just me.
Why is it not smiling back?
Why? It's just one-eyed. Damn you, Cyclops. But I found that, so the Daily Show was actually an exercise that I did specifically to break that.
Yeah.
How is everyone? How is your Gary V's? How are these people just going out and being like, blah, 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 and saying like just a ton of stuff that's succinct to make sense. So I went live every day. Sorry, I didn't go live. They were pre-recorded, but I did a video and posted it pretty much. Cut the intro and outro of me being like, cut that bit off and the end bit when I was like, oh, and then release them. I think I did every day for a month or 6 weeks or something like that. Every working day, I took the weekends off. But by the end of it, I was then able to craft a message in a minute. I was able to take, if someone said, talk about this thing, I could then be like, cool. And in my head, be able to sort of rant for a minute, but go beginning, middle, and end and just get to the point. And also the thing I found most important was I found the things I really hated about myself.
Yes.
The roadblocks, which were going to mean that I wouldn't do any more videos ever again in the future, which for me was like being fat, talking too much, ums and ahs, like when I'm clearly thinking. I'm also well dyslexic, so I fill sentences a lot. I could just keep talking and watch that and be like, this is a minute. You haven't spoken about anything yet. You're just panicking. Like I can watch myself panic, right? But using it, and like it is so hard to self-assess. I think to watch videos back, like I'm always like, oh, I get why that's humorous, but like, couldn't I just not be in it or not talk, or couldn't I be more Brad Pitt about everything somehow? But doing it every day and being able to look at the first 30 seconds before I cringe too much and was like, allowed me to start to find out those things. Yeah. Same thing with podcasting, with how to write a tune. Doing that for 70 or 80 episodes, I learned how to interview better, how to be in a conversation and not cut people off with, oh, right. And then people go, guess you're talking now. I'm like, oh no, it's like, it's a podcast, please. No, keep talking. What I meant was, is that better for you? Right. And learn those tasks. But actually just to present, like the only way I learned to do it was just by like slamming out videos. And then over it was a steep learning curve. First week was really bad. Second week was like significantly better. It wasn't good, but it was significantly better than the first week. And by the third week, I knew what I didn't like. And by the fourth week, I was able to like stop doing them, if you know what I mean, and get to that point. Okay, so why did you set yourself up such a deadline, such a stringent, be dedicated, I'm going to do this for what is essentially a hobby while you're kicking ass and taking names as a teacher?
So I think from that job, I became a very structured person. Right. Before then, I don't think I was. I had the kind of the ADHD mind of, yeah, cool. Love this. Right, cool, fine. See you later. Done. So because of that job, I know I had to be structured. Uh-huh. So let's try and bring that into my own personal life and set myself a goal of some sort. Okay. Kind of like, let's just see if I can do something with this. Yeah. So I got really strict with kind of being like, let's do this every single week. Let's keep going. Let's keep pushing for it. And it just kept going. I kept being like, cool, it's actually working. I'm getting content. There's things happening. Yeah. And I think the hardest part about doing all of it was having it on an online platform and accepting that feedback.
Oh, right. Okay.
So when people commented, not being like, oh, this is right. Being like, okay, that's cool. Like if I had like, there was one period of time where like 3 or 4 videos were all like, you're talking too fast. I'm like, no, I'm not. You're listening too slow. Listen harder.
Your fault. Do both ears. Slow it down. Yeah, okay.
And then I put it into 0.75 speed that you can do on YouTube. And I was like, that sounds nicer.
Right.
That's
more succinct.
And I'm
catching what you're saying. Yeah.
And I even showed it to my mum because she's always been the one to be like, you talk too fast, Jonathan. So I was like, how does it sound like this? And she's like, yeah, I get that. I'm like, cool.
But I've seen that with your videos as well. And like some of the notes I'll give will be specific around of like, you said that. Yeah. You've just said that. Now you're saying it again, just to make this video a little more snappy, a little more punchy. You can actually cut you out saying it the first time. And what's interesting is like, you don't even see it on another edit because it's the way you talk, right? So how do you see the wood for the trees? One of the things we try to do here is always get a second pair of eyes on everything, because as awesome as John is, he just might not see something that John doesn't see. Whereas your Mason, your Rich, your Tony, maybe even me, I might be able to be like, well, there's a thing there. And if you've been editing this thing for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever.
You just can't see it.
You can't see it. You've seen it 1,000 times by now. Maybe the first time you saw it, you're like, I'll get rid of that. And then 17 edits later, many hours and hours and hours. But yeah, I that's one of the things I really had to work on, especially with doing this kind of thing, podcasting, video, also with people needing me to put together a 2-minute video and like my blah, 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 because I'm good at words. But, I had to create the narrative. Yeah. It'd be about, why is video important? Okay, cool. And I've got like, and I'm given direction, but I've got to fill in all the blanks. So that filling in the blanks can easily be just over talking. Yeah. Just saying for saying's sake. And when I'm trying to do that, I'm also like conscious of how long I've been talking, and all of a sudden start speeding up really loads because I'm like, especially when my brain flicks on to the next subject. Yeah. I'm thinking about that next thing. So I start talking about the first thing real quick and just end it like without an ending and move on to the next thing. I get one of the things that John's taught me as well is just stop. I can just stop and pick up again. Like, we call them YouTube cuts, but you can do a jump cut or a zoom cut and cut into the same place, even if you've only got a single camera, which means you don't have to just like, give me a minute. If I keep going, I'll get there. Just wait, I'm getting there. Blah, 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 and just keep talking. Instead, you can kind of stop and be like, I want to say this, say it. And then in the edit, and actually that becomes really engaging because it's like, I know what they're talking about. The answer, great. I know what they're talking about and go on there, which your content's great for. Thank you. Great for, like you're great at being like, and this is the point. Sure, I'm having, yourself and you're charming and coming across and talking as you do, but then, actually give the audience, they don't just have to learn to deal with your vernacular. Yeah. If you know what I mean, you give them what they need to be able to do that.